This Fentress County Board of Commission is called to order. Please rise for the pledge to the flag, led by Kim Davidson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for prayer, and prayer will be led by Mr. Gooding.
Bow your heads, please. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the day, Lord. Thank you for a beautiful day. Thank you for all the concerned citizens, Lord, to come to this meeting. I ask that you bless each and every one of them. I ask that you lead, guide, and direct the commission in their decisions that they have to make. And I ask it all in Jesus' precious holy name. Amen.
Amen. We'll have a roll call by Marilyn Stevens, our County Court Clerk.
Jimmy Johnson.
Here.
Justin Miller.
Here.
J.P. Reagan.
Here.
Kim Davidson.
Here.
Kenny Hughes.
Here.
Don Williams.
Here.
Lester Gooding.
Here.
Jeff Green.
Here.
Larry Cooper.
Here.
Wade Matthews.
Here.
All present. We do have a quorum. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to, the first thing is to declare the office of Fentress County Sheriff vacant and to accept the resignation of former Sheriff Chucky Cravens. We'll move on with that. Do I have a motion to accept that resignation?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Jimmy.
Four.
Justin.
Four.
J.P.
Four.
Kim.
4.
Benny.
Four.
Donald.
Four.
Lester.
Here.
Jeff.
Four.
Larry.
Four.
Four.
10 4
And I'm for it too.
Motion passes. Now, from a procedural note, Larry, I think we have to adjust the,
Yeah, I don't have the Tennessee Code annotated. Do you have that, Leslie?
Specifically in the vacancy statute, the procedure for filling vacancies, it tells us that, at this point, the acting personnel, under the sheriff is Chief Deputy Ledbetter, and the salary of the sheriff must be under the code given to the person who is fulfilling those duties under a temporary discharge. And that would be essentially for whatever elected office that it is.
Leslie, can you use the microphone, please?
Sorry. I'm not used to having that.
Take it out.
Oh, you got it.
Again,
Yeah.
So essentially, the code tells us that the office, once it's declared vacant, and under the statute that the next in line would be the Chief Deputy Ledbetter. He's been fulfilling those duties since the sheriff was even at some point before the official resignation. But at this point, when you all declare the office vacant and accept that resignation, then you must pay him the salary of the sheriff, as that position is being temporarily discharged by him. As long as he is assuming those same duties, he must receive the same pay. But in order to do that, finance will need something from you all in the form of a motion to allow them so that we satisfy the auditor.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion now. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Jimmy.
Four.
Justin.
Four.
J.P.
Four.
Kim.
4.
Benny.
Four.
Donald.
Four.
Lester.
Four.
Jeff.
Four.
Larry.
Four.
Wade.
Four.
10-4, none against. Mr. Ledbetter, from this point on, you'll be drawing the full salary of the sheriff of Fentress County until permanent one is named to finish the term. Which takes us to this, a discussion of the procedures on how to go about the replacement or naming a sheriff to finish the term. a lot of people think that it's just a simple thing, that this commission is going to do that tonight. We're not. In order to serve as the sheriff for Fentress County or any county in the state of Tennessee, a person must be post-certified. And that is the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission. And we have post packets here for anyone who is interested in serving out that term of sheriff that they can pick up. And for any of those candidates or nominees, potential nominees, it's up to you to send that to post to get the certification. We'll announce tonight that we will be taking resumes starting tonight through June the 2nd, I think is what we've got down, until 4 p.m. In my office as the Fentress County Executive. In that time, interested individuals may turn in resumes, contact Post for certification. At this point in time, Post tells us that it will be somewhere around June the 16th before Post will give us a list of certified personnel. At that time, we'll get have a special call meeting where we would interview, and then either at that meeting or a subsequent meeting, there would be the naming of the person to replace or to finish out the term of office. Any questions from commission on that?
On the Monday, the 26th, that's the date you have that.
That is tentative, and that's for you all to set if you're in agreement.
We actually have 120 days from the 28th.
We have 120 days that we can go. I would urge us to proceed with with caution, but with the determination of trying to get this behind us and someone in place. A little later tonight, we're going to give a chance for anyone that's interested in serving out that term to address the commission, and also anyone that in the audience that wants to address the commission as well. You all are here because you're passionate about Fentress County and where we're going, who's going to finish this term, and do a good job for Fentress County. Folks, these commissioners are passionate as well, or they would not be here. So, you know, it's, I'm sure that any of the candidates that are here, some of you got some great supporters with you, and we're willing to listen to them. But for this commission, I think it's critical tonight that if you wish to be appointed to finish this term of office, these commissioners want to hear from you. And again, later on, we will have another public hearing once we get the list of all the post-certified candidates for a full interview. Leslie, anything you want to add?
Just real briefly, Mike, just so that everybody's clear, Post is the certifying and verifying agency. This commission doesn't get any say-so. I don't get any say-so. Mr. Ben Rogers here from CTAS, we don't get any say-so over who qualifies under the Post standards. That's set out in the TCA 88102, and at that point, Post takes over, and the gentleman who's in charge of that was in no uncertain terms that he would be doing the verification process on every step of those requirements, not just the steps that are related to being a law enforcement officer, because there are certain steps that to run for any office that you must have. It's the same qualifying standards that a person must meet if they run for the sheriff in any general election. To receive an appointment, it is the same thing. I've gotten a lot of questions, and I'm sure the commission and Mike have too, as to why we must go through this entire process. We didn't create this process. We simply are following the law and what it tells us that we have no choice but to do. It doesn't allow you just to jump out there and name anyone as sheriff. And it doesn't allow you also to wait out until the next general election. You have 120 days, and I think it's actually 120 days from today, because we have declared that office vacant as of today. Is that, Amanda probably knows better than I. Yes, a post says it's 120 days from today that we must have the position filled. So at that point, they are going to make those decisions. They will be the ones providing this commission with a list of nominees, and the gentleman was very on point when he said, I'm going to provide you a list of the qualified nominees. You all shall pick from that list and no one else. So we are simply following what the code tells us to do. They've set aside this special commission, and actually it's a council within the post commission who makes these verifications because they do it as an independent agency. I just want everybody to know that when we get a list of these candidates back and you see that list, no one in this room created that list. It is simply a state of Tennessee function. Is that correct, Ben?
Okay, I also want to ask, and I'm remiss in not bringing it up yet, with us is Ben Rogers from CTAS, sitting over there by our county attorney Leslie Ledbetter. From the very beginning of this ordeal that we're having to go through, Leslie and myself and others, we've aggravated Ben Rogers to death. We've also talked to local government. We've studied diligently in the Tennessee Code Annotated and talked to our CTAS and their attorneys to be sure. We want to be sure, folks, that what we do is right and proper and follows every letter of the law set forth by the state of Tennessee. So,
Mike, you might expound on who CTAS is. Many people listening may not know.
Ben, you want to describe who you are?
I work for the University of Tennessee's County Technical Assistance Service, and I serve as a county government consultant for 13 counties in Upper Cumberland, and I deal with all matters concerning budgets, accounting, law, personnel policies, anything to do with county government, and with any county officials, so county commission, county exec, trustee, county clerk, so on. So we provide technical assistance to our county officials.
And Ben does a great job. We appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
Ben, for being up here. At this time, if there's no other questions or comments, I'm going to,
I've got a question
all
or
right.
two. And I guess one might be for you, Ben. On Thursday, June 22nd, when we have scheduled to do interviews, or that's the tentative date for that, can we conduct those as professional interviews and actually take in one candidate at a time and have the others like in another room? So it's only fair. That way, maybe we can ask the same set of questions and just see how they respond. Is that an option, or does it have to be open to every candidate?
It has to be open to the public.
Right, that of course.
But I think you can, I don't think there's anything in law saying you have to have all candidates in. I think you can keep them outside and let them come in one at a time. But as long as it's open to the public.
Mark, we'll get to you in a minute.
I can double check though
Okay.
if you need me to.
Because that being said, I would maybe think about us setting that time instead of being at 6 o'clock, maybe, and then allotting like a 30-minute or 45 minutes per candidate. That way it's not chaos and we have scheduled time. So that would be something I'd like to consider on the 22nd. And Monday, June 26th, I don't feel comfortable with that date. I feel like if we're gonna interview on Thursday, the 22nd, that only gives us Friday and Monday if we need to follow up on references or anything like that. So I kinda like leaving that a little more open. That way, we will get you a sheriff as soon as possible. We're gonna move on that. But to say right now, this date, we're gonna have somebody hired, I feel like that's a little bit harsh to judge rush right into that. So I would feel a little more comfortable if we gave a little bit more leeway, because again, this is probably one of the biggest decisions we're gonna make for y'all. And we wanna put every bit of time and consideration that we can, and we don't wanna rush to do anything.
Thank you, Kim. As you all came in, we had, Miss Amanda had two lists back there, one for candidates that would wish to speak to this commission and to the public that's here, and a list of citizens who've signed in. And our parliamentarian, Jeff Green, We'll call the names from that, the first list, the potential nominees first, give them a chance to come up and address the commission and the public, and then we'll go through and do the same thing for those who signed in to speak for the public. Commissioner Cooper will, who is our chairman pro tem, will be the timekeeper. For potential nominees or candidates, please limit your speech or your presentation to 5 minutes or less, if you would. Mr. Green?
Okay, I'll be calling these in the order in which they signed in. And first on the list is Mr. Tom Rosecrans.
And Tom, please, I know you've done this before, but get as close to the microphone, get it adjusted.
Is that good?
Very good,
Okay.
thank you.
Hello, I'm Tom Rosecrans. Each and every candidate tonight will come up here before the commission and the citizens of Fentress County and speak about what he or she has for experience, their training, and why they believe they should be appointed sheriff. I could share with you my law enforcement experiences working in Fentress County, working in Overton County, working in a justice center similar to the size of ours. What I encountered as a chief investigator and the improvements I made in solving crimes while in that position. All the business experience I have under my belt, all that is great. But what each and every person in this room and at home needs to hear is that our county has hope. We all need to know that someone can deliver that hope and fix the things that have happened. Hope to make them feel that their safety is a priority and that they will be treated fairly. Hope that they are being protected and watched over and the laws are being upheld. Hope that all have an equal voice no matter who they are or where they come from. Hope that they will be treated with respect and dignity by the men and women that serve them. Hope that crimes are investigated, solved, and that the perpetrators will be held accountable. Hope that the loved ones they have in jail are not being abused or mistreated. Hope that the Sheriff's Department is working hard to rid the community of drugs so that their kids have a bright future. These things and many more are what's important to us and what each of us need in order to move in a positive direction for our county and unite. We need to have zone set. Consistent patrol for our entire county and provide quick response times to our citizens. We need to have adequate training for our deputies and correction officers to know and better understand the laws. We need to have our youth participate in mentoring programs like the Law Enforcement Explorer program. We need to have our schools protected for our children's safety and have school resource officers be great examples to the kids to be there for them if they have trouble or need somebody to talk to. We need to have our laws consistently be upheld and the right thing being done at all times. We need to have the sheriff's budget closely monitored and to create ways to save money and reduce costs. We need to have rehabilitation programs for our drug-dependent citizens so that they can rehabilitate and teach others how to overcome dependency. We need to have prisoners, upon being released, have a safety net in place so that they don't reoffend and end up back in jail. And most importantly, we need to have a department that is working to earn the trust and respect of each and every citizen in Fentress County. This is no small undertaking, and it is my commitment to train, coach, set guidelines, and lead by example to the employees of the Sheriff's Department what is expected of them and how we can be the department that Fentress County needs and hopes for. It will take a lot of work, and we'll need the community's support to build our reputation from where it is now to what it can be. I will involve a committee of spiritual leaders to hold me accountable and meet with me to discuss what is going on in congregations and out in the community. These men and women will also be involved in ministering to the prisoners. It is vital that we stop this vicious cycle of drugs in our community, which most of our crimes come from. It will take our department being active and involved in teaching children about illegal drugs and prescription drugs at a young age, and mentoring them as they grow to be good citizens who care about our community to make it better. My wife and I have children and understand the struggles we face today as parents and grandparents. I vow to uphold the utmost respect for the badge I wear and the citizens I serve. My employees will always remember that the name on their badge is who hired them, and that the nameplate is who raised them, and that they will represent both with honor and integrity. May God bless you all, and may God bless Fentress County.
Thanks, sir. Commissioner Green?
Second on the list is Gary Ledbetter.
Good evening, Mike. Good evening, County Commissioners. Well, we sure are in a terrible time here. Hard time for everyone. It's no fault of Mike's. It's no fault of you all. It's no fault of mine. It's certainly no fault of my staff's. We're getting bashed every day. The rumors, the rumor mill, hitting us hard. Of course, they're wanting my job. You know, they're wanting this job. They're wanting the sheriff's job. So I would ask all of you today that if you hear some crazy rumor about me or my staff, you can just give me a call, come by the sheriff's office, you know, talk to anyone of my staff anytime, day or night. I'm sure they'll give you an honest answer. I'm not a politician. I'll give you an honest answer. Just call me up, ask me the question. I'll give you the answer. To speak for myself, I've got 30 plus years in law enforcement. I came up as a reserve deputy, police officer, deputy sheriff, detective, chief deputy. As my time being detective, you know, I did several homicides. All the homicides that I worked while I was a detective, they were all solved. All those folks went to prison. That's where they're at today if they haven't passed away. Several years ago, I was actually the prosecuting officer on a homicide here in Fentress County. That's something that's unheard of around here because that's something the TBI always does. But I had the great honor of actually being the prosecuting officer. Sent that person to prison. He actually died in prison. I spent some time outside of Fentress County. I worked in Overton County. I worked in Livingston City. And I worked at Jackson County. I was third in command on all three of those staffs, those places. So apparently those folks, where I wasn't even from, lived here all my life, those folks saw something in me. They made me third in command at those places there. 2 different sheriffs asked me to be chief deputy sheriff, and I served in those roles up here 2 different times in Fentress County. I think of all the candidates that I can foresee that's going to get in this thing, I've got 30 plus years. I don't think there's a candidate that can even come close to my experience as far as sheriff's office goes. I think my record speaks for itself. I've never been written up. I've never been in trouble. I've always done things the right way. And I think you can look at my past history. You can call any of those bosses I asked you about before or told you about. You can ask them about my time there. You can ask them for a recommendation. I'd be glad if y'all did that. I can give you the numbers if you want to call. But I just feel like that right now is a good time to sort of jump on everybody and sort of point out everything and all the bad stuff, all the negative stuff. I just don't think we need that anymore. I think we need to look forward. I think we need to look in the future. And I believe I'm the guy that can do that. Many of my staff's here. They're behind me. They support me. And like I said, this is no fault of ours. And no one else at the sheriff's office has done anything wrong. We do things the right way every day. We'll continue to do things the right way every day if you'll appoint me sheriff. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Kim?
Next on the list is Robert Nolan.
Am I close enough to the mic?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Robert Nolan. I go by Bobby. I'm not from around here. I moved here, let me start over. My wife and I were together since 1994, and we have 5 kids living elsewhere in the United States. My wife moved here to Fentress County in 2009. I retired from the Army in 2007, and I did contract work in Saudi Arabia for 1 year, then with the Department of State